Previously on All Motorcycles, I gave most of the fairings a clean, I identified the source of the leak, and lost my mind trying to remove the airbox. In this episode, I finally get to the leaking part, fall down a rabbit hole finding a replacement, and get distracted with more cleaning. Well, here we are, guys. The last you saw, I was making 25 attempts at getting rid of that, or taking out the airbox. I've done lots of head scratching and reviewing and discussing, and two theories have come up. A, remove the carb block just on their own, pop them off. I am particularly against that view because I do not want to mess with the carbs, considering it's running nicely, and me and carbs don't get on generally. Plus, removing them, it might make it hard for me to identify where and how it's leaking. So option B is loosen the subframe at the back of the bike. Now, initially I didn't want to do that because I thought it was quite an involved job. Actually, looking at the subframe, from what I can gather, there are two bolts. There is one here, and there is one here, and it's mirror image on the far side, and then it has the exhaust hanger as well. So my plan is to just simply remove this bolt and loosen this bolt, which should let the whole thing, if I loosen off the exhaust hanger, it should let the whole thing just hinge back, which would raise all this stuff up out of the way, make it all out of the way, which means I should just be able to get the airbox off, which should give me very easy access to the leak in place. Okay, so I'm not helping matters here by having black spanners, but I actually have a 14mm spanner just here on the end of that bolt, and it's, when I turn to the nut, it kind of catches it on the frame, so it's held in place by the pressure of the bolt turning. But so there is a 14mm spanner here, so we'll give that a go now. Actually, just looking at that bottom bolt, this one here, that one there, I can already see it's kind of backed off a bit, so that kind of lends credence to the theory of remove these two top bolts and hinge the whole thing back. So now I'm not going to show you me, because I don't have room for the tripod on the far side, but it's literally in the exact same place, just mirror image. So I'm going to do the same thing, 14mm, 14mm. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom in here, because when I got that right side bolt off, the whole frame sort of popped up a good bit, so you can see like the whole thing just, so it will do what I want it to do and hinge. So I'm going to loosen the bottom two bolts now. Right, so now we're just going to loosen back up. Oh my god, that wasn't tight at all. That's obviously why the whole thing popped out, because that's how tight this bolt was. And I wonder if it'll be the same on the other side now. God. And here we are on the side of the bike. I'm basically hanging out of the shed, trying to get this angle for you guys. I hope you appreciate my dedication. So that, yeah, that's still barely tight. So that's, I'm glad actually that I have to do this, because like I don't think it would have fallen out or done anything while I was riding it, but you don't want your frame bolts or subframe bolts to be this loose. So yeah, glad we did this. Now I just got to do something about the exhaust hanger, because it's the exhaust is hanging off the passenger foot peg, so I might just undo that bracket, which should let this whole subframe assembly, as I keep saying, pivot on this bolt. Alright guys, so I just let off the exhaust hanger on the far side, and it still wasn't giving me clearance with the foot peg, the mirror image of this. So I took it off. It's two 8mm Allens, and as soon as I took off this foot peg and kind of wasn't wedged against the exhaust, this happened. So you can see now, lots of room for activities. In fact, I could probably get to the leak as is there now without taking the exhaust off. So what's been leaking for me so far has been this connection in here, where the fuel line comes in and mates up and feeds into carb 1 and carb 2. It's a T-piece, and in fact, looking at it, it's split. Now, can you see that crack right in the middle of that teeth piece? That is the part that is leaking. See that split there right in the middle? I'll probably just mark it on the screen as well so you can just see. I'll put like a point to it. She won't be running for. I am amazed it ran this cleanly with a leak like that right on the feed for the carbs. Amazed it ran so nicely. So yeah, I want to check out the service manual and see how I get those pieces out. Alright folks, I'm hopeful. One CBR 750 Hurricane airbox. Slightly abused. Now look at all this room I have. I could fit 2 hands in here if I wanted to, and an airbox. I can't get over the size of this thing. Sorry now. Like, it's ridiculous. What the hell is all of that? Jesus Christ. That's... I don't know what that is. So now tons of room to get to my leaking T-joint. Now just a quick look in the manual, and I'm really thinking I'd love to be able to just pop this one off. I could just rip this out, but I really don't want it. It's held in with 2 little O-rings. So I'd love to be able to just pop carb 1 off, but I don't think it's going to work like that. At the very least, I think I'm going to have to take 1 and 2 off together and then separate them to get this piece off, and then hopefully I can get one of these pieces. I actually haven't even looked that up yet, so I'm not celebrating just yet. Frame is looking in good shape though, thank God. So yeah, I don't know what the author of the manual was smoking when he said you can take the airbox off. I mean, I've had to remove the fuel pump, disconnect everything, and hinge the subframe. Unless remove the captor refers to remove these bolts to hinge. Well, I doubt that. But yeah, this is how you take the airbox out. This is how I take the airbox out. Not a mechanic. Now, looking at it, this cross piece obviously links the 4 carbs and makes them one piece. There might be one on the front of them as well, but to get to the piece I need to get to, it needs to come off. So I'm going to very carefully undo all these GIS bolts. There's 2, 4, 6, 8 in total. Take that bar off, put all the screws back into the carbs where they were. That will let me pop off this fuel hose and get a much better look at what's leaking. So it's getting late, so this might be the last job I do here tonight, but we're making good progress here compared to last time. Oh jeez. Oh. Right. If you haven't already, Frank, put a music dub over this. Actually, just interject, stop the music. Let me tell you, you would not do these screws without JIS screwdriver, because, dear God, these boys, these are on tight. Very tight. Back to the music. Well, even with JIS screwdrivers, I have mangled this, and potentially that one. The last job of the night, you managed to just completely ruin something, isn't it? Well, folks, you join me as I'm scouring the interwebs, in particular a website called CMSNL Consolidated Motor Spares Netherlands.com, and it's a fantastic resource for finding motorcycle parts. I'm not sponsored by it, I'm not sponsored by anyone, but it's a fantastic resource because it gives you the exploded views of every part of basically every bike on the planet, even a 1987 CBR 750 Hurricane. So the part I need is that one. This is the piece that is split and is leaking between carb 1 and carb 2. So it's number 3. So we go, okay, yeah, grand. We go to number 3 here, and yeah, it's a T-joint set A. Oh yeah, very good, €25, fantastic. And it's unavailable. And we have part number, excellent, part number perfect. So I've typed it into Google and I can't find it anywhere. So I thought, right, the 1000F is basically the 750 just bored out. So we'll go 1000F and we'll check its image, and it's basically the same schematic, except this piece is now called 4. So we said, grand, let's have a look at 4. Let's have a look at 4. So we go with part number 4. Oh yeah, T-joint, yeah, perfect, grand, and it's unavailable too. So I thought, well, there was 3 Hurricanes, there was a 600, so let's try the 600. So it's naturally smaller, so it uses smaller link pipes, and I can tell already that they'll be too small. But I thought, hey, this puppy here now, between 2 and 3, that could work. So that's number 2. So let's have a look at number 2. And it doesn't even have a number 2. It goes straight from 1 to 4. So I thought then, right, okay, let's think about the lineage of these. So the 750 actually became the Fireblade. The 1000 became the Blackbird, and the 600 became the 600. So I said the CBR 600. So, well, let's look up a Fireblade. So CBR 900RR. And where is the little doodad for making this? Oh, hang on. No, sorry now, I'm way ahead of myself. So look at this now. That looks awfully like the part we need. It's not unfamiliar. It's still roughly the same stuff. So, right, yeah, I was thinking let's look this up and let's see. So, number 4. Now, this is 16024, and I had been looking for 16026. Now, I'm not sure if this is 26 millimeters, and then this means this is 24 millimeters. I'm not sure if that's in terms of overall length or diameter of the inner pipe, but that doesn't look too bad. So when I said, Rand, let's have a look here. Oh, hang on, there's a photo. That might just be the ticket. It's €30. It's in stock. Not bad, not bad. And then it fits the 600s. This superseded the part I was just looking at. So if this fits a CB 600 and a CBR 900RR, it should fit a CB 750. But €30 for this one piece, and it's going to be about another 15 or 20 shipped. That's going to be a very expensive experiment. But such is life. All right, folks, I think we're on to winner. This is the Fireblade one, and it says it fits the 1000F from the early 90s, and this piece was superseded by this piece. The piece I just said fits the 600, so this will fit a 1000F. So if it fits a 1000F, it should bloody well fit a 750F. So we're probably going to roll the dice on this. So here we are, davidsilverspares.co.uk, and I've just copied and pasted the part number in here because this is just a bit closer to home for me. So it's coming up at 3257. So this is what I normally do. I'll use CMSNL's blown up schematics, find the part, get the part number, and see if, because generally if David Silver has it, he'll have it for the same, if not a little bit less, but the shipping tends to be less and quicker because it's just coming from the UK. So they'll have to special order this in. So that's the only hiccup here. So yeah, 2 options now. I can go CMS or this. So yay! And in this image, sorry now I know it's not very clear on my phone pointing at the screen, but this image, it looks much more like what's on the bike. It looks like this part is split here on the bike, so I'm quite confident, and it seems to come with the O-rings. This piece is the part we need. So happy days. I was getting stressed about this. Today is now tomorrow, and there seems to be a God. Now please tell me I didn't snap the end clean off this. So what I did was not what I wanted to do, however. I think I got away with that. Happy days. Yeah, I think I got away with that. What I did was I used one of these hammer through chisel screwdrivers, and I basically just chipped out the corners or the sides of that slot to make it bigger, and then I used a teeny tiny little bit. That's kind of basically a punch, so I caught it on the corner that I got and just hit it with a hammer, pop, 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 and that just cracked it. And once it cracked, I could spin it off. So we're doing well. Well, as you can see, the bar came out, so my little tap, tap, tap trick worked for this screw as well. So I've also just noted that one of our throttle cables is broken, and I think it's the pull closed one, because the one that is here is pulling it open, and that one will be pulling it closed, so that's gone. So we'll need a new throttle cable. Nice. Well, our T-piece is out, and the way I managed that was I unscrewed these big giant bolts or screws with my big Hulker GIS driver, and that really just got me plenty of grip. 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I got them out of this bar, I was able then to just separate the carbs just enough to where I could pop out the individual parts of this piece. And so this is the offensive item, and it was like this in the carb, because it had this stuff on top here. Now I have a feeling someone tried to glue this in the past, because it's got this. Now it could just be from the petrol discolor in the plastic. If you'd focus, thank you. Because I don't see any of that discoloration on their good one. So yeah, I have a feeling someone tried to fix this before to just keep her going. So that's the bit we need, and I get a throttle cable, and if I'm getting one, I might as well get two when you're doing all that. So I'll price that up and see. But yeah, that was the big job that needed doing. Once I get that done and got oil, coolant, give it a wipe down, a clean. While I was here looking for parts, I decided I might as well look up all the parts I'd need to do all the little jobs I want to do. So obviously the initial one is the fuel pump, and then the two throttle cables. And then I'd love to redo the front brakes and the rear brakes. So pistons, calipers, rebuild all of them. Same with the rear. Replace that clutch lever. And then just the random little sort of nuts and bolts. I'm sure this will change, and I'll probably add more to this. But already we're up to... Oh, I got free shipping, woo! But yeah, now I've priced that up against David Silver spares, and David Silver is about 370. Not sure if it's pounds or euros, but he's significantly cheaper on some things, but significantly more expensive than CMS on others. So what I'll do is I'm not going to probably have the funds to buy all these parts at once. So I'll see who's cheaper for the bit I want to do, buy those parts, get them in. So if CMS is cheaper for the throttle cables and the thing, and I'll get them from here. Whereas I know David Silver has, I think, this repair kit for like 20 quid, so that'll do. Whereas I think the dust seals are cheaper here. Actually no, the dust seals are cheaper, so I'll probably do the brakes from David Silver. Like, that's mad money for this. Mad money. Like David Silver has, that's either the front or the back. David Silver has a whole master cylinder for like less than £20.
or I think it's £30, but it's the whole master cylinder, like the whole assembly and a reservoir. So yeah, I'll go between the two. But it's nice to just know kind of what you're getting into. So call it 400 quid, and that's before tyres. So another 2 tyres would be what, 100 per set, 100 per side. So you're up at about 600 quid. So yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Well guys, quick video here. I was looking up this little T-piece I need for the carbs, and I came across a bike breaking website based in Ireland, and they have these for 81.32, but they actually had another set that was damaged for 40, and it was the whole carb block. Now, they had no photos of the back of them, but I assume those T-pieces are there. Now, there's no phone numbers for this website to ring anyone. I've emailed them 3 times looking for them to get back to me with photos of the back of the piece, and no responses. So I'm not sure if this site and business is still in action. So I bought, alright, so to say, I've paid for the other listing for the damaged ones. It's disappeared off the website, so that bit still works, but I really hope it turns up and it still is an active business. Otherwise, that's €40 down the Swanee, but we'll give it a go. I've got my new mount and my own tripod now, so we'll see if this makes any difference to the quality. I know it's been weeks since I did an upload. I initially wanted to do a video every week, but it was putting me under too much pressure just to get stuff done. And I found my second video wasn't as content rich or as good as the first video. So I'm going to slow down the pace, actually have some stuff happen in the videos rather than just focus on one little thing and not get it done and take an hour of your time. So in the videos I want the stuff actually happen. So this box appeared in the last few days and it's got the carbs in it. So they actually did show up. So hopefully they have the little T-pieces we need, so let's find out. Also, it's got some contact details on it. I'm not even sure if this is actually the company or not, or if it's just the packet tape the guy had. This is not an unboxing channel, and that will become very apparent very quickly. I'm trying not to lacerate myself too badly. Oh, they're well packed in there anyway. And I know it's the carbs because it actually had on the outside as a description Hurricane, CBR, and carbs. Oh boys and girls, I am very happy with this. Oh my god. Oh my god, yes. And look, oh my god. Not only comes... This one has one feed for the fuel that splits. Not, as is the case with my one. My one has 2 feeds. One goes in here, one goes in here. So I don't know. This doesn't look factory. But it's one big tube. Most importantly though, we have 1, 2 factory T-pieces. Yep, they're a straight swap, boys and girls. Oh, hang on, one difference. The air inlets are different. See the size of this compared to the size of that? No, it's bueno. But if that's the only difference that I can see, and these are meaty units. I actually can't believe this. These were €45 for this. And the reason they were so cheap, because I had a set of impeccable ones for 85. The reason was they were dropped and this happened. But I don't actually care about that. I may, and it's a big may, depending on how much of a job it is, swap some of these caps for nice ones, but you're never going to see them. But yeah, as far as I can tell, well, here. That's the same part. That is the same part. Yes! Oh. Okay. A bit sticky, 2 of them, but sure doesn't really matter. And I can use these to figure out how... Oh, and I get lots of fresh new screws for the ones I butchered. Everything's coming up, Millhouse. This has exceeded expectations. I'm absolutely chuffed with this. Right, so in the last video I said, I should be wearing gloves, but these parts were different. But on further looking, my carbs have an air tube that is the same as this. These carbs don't have this breather piece. They're blanked off. So I wonder what this is all about. Yeah, but all in all, if we double carb, twice the power. You can see the piece there is what we need. This lad here. This thing here is what caused all our problems. And if we just offer this up, hopefully it's not a million miles off. But that looks like it's the same part. And remember, these are off a CBR 1000F. So I'm not saying the carbs are the same, but they look the bloody same. So this puppy's rocking 1000cc carbs. Yeah. Now, I'm going to have to do a number on this. Well, I say do a number, clean it. Yeah, so we cleaned out that port there, that little hole there. Oh, these must be the vacuum tubes for the carb sink. They're in such a nice position, if that's what they are. I'd be surprised if they weren't, because yeah, they're right behind the butterflies, so that should be where this. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Getting distracted. What the hell is it? Oh, this is probably the choke mechanism, because those are the. That's exactly what it is. That's the choke mechanism. Anyway, so we're moving from my little pokey bit to these are bigger. So let's try not round these puppies off. Can you see that? Yeah. Okay. Oh, right. Now, the very first thing we do, because I don't like the sounds of these things creaking and crunching, I'm going to take these fuel hoses off so I don't put pressure on these and snap them. Okie dokie, so I do have actual pliers, but I've loaned them to someone who will remain nameless. He needs them for a job, and it's always when you give things out to people, it's when you need them, isn't it? Yeah. Let's try not and. Oh god, I don't like this. I don't like this one. Let's put them away. Ooh, the stress. So worst case, I have one that's as well. Oh sorry, mine are pointing down as well. Oh, there we go. So nice, lots of hoses and clips there. And let's just, if I put this up, yeah. Bear with me, just bear with me here, guys. And gals, if there is any gals looking at this. And thanks again for watching, if you are watching, to the few people who've subscribed. It's encouraging. So thank you. I know there's much better content creators who are doing this kind of thing. One guy, if you want to check out, He's called Ronald Finger. He's doing up a GPZ 1000 from the 80s as well. And it was his kind of interesting, funny way of doing videos. It was like, hey, I want to give that a go. So I'd highly recommend them. And he releases videos, I think, once every few months. So, but they're top notch, top quality. Like, lots of stuff gets done. You learn a lot. So, oh, happy days. Right, I will fast forward the rest of this piece. Okay, so those carbs 1 and 2 are loosened, but they've been retained by the throttle linkage. So I pop off that vacuum tube. Is it a vacuum tube? No, it's some kind of link, probably a cable linking these on the choke. I'll have to figure out a way of separating this to break them apart. Not break them apart, but you know what I mean, separate them. So yeah, let's consult the manual before we go wrecking things. Here is my manual for the 750, and it's showing 2 fuel lines coming in to these T-pieces. So, and they're linked. They're linked? I believe there's 2, so mine is right. Maybe the 1000s did it differently. And you can see here, yeah, the 2 fuel tubes, fuel lines. So yeah, 750 has 2, and you can see it then pictured again here. I don't know why I keep showing you that there's 2 fuel lines. There's 2 fuel lines. This bike has 2 fuel lines. Stop making the point, Frank. Jesus. That's looking about the same there. That. As my baby would say, that. So, it is this doodad here. It's basically a pin. Oh yeah, it's a split pin through this and a washer. And that should let these 2 separate. So let's try not to launch this into a low Earth orbit. Where's the other side? Is there only one side? Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Pardon the crap angle. Sorry if I'm breathing in the mic. There's normally 2 halves to these. There's only 2 halves make a whole half. Little micro screwdriver. Can you even see what I'm doing? Focus! You in shot? This do that here. This. Now, there might be mechanics shouting at me saying, "Oh Jesus, what are you doing?" And I'm sorry. I actually don't need to face that. Come on, you. Come out of there. Oh, God. Why do I have a feeling this is going to be the bell ring moment in this video? God damn it. Not sure if I'd just go and wrench it with pliers. Like, it's only a goddamn pin. Oh well. That's the tail end of the pin. Curses. I love the smell of that stuff. Opinions. People like the smell of penetrating oils like WD-40 or GT85, that kind of crap. stuff. I'm quite partial to the smell of it. Try these puppies because these are actually flat, smooth jawed, so I'm not sure what the grip factor is going to be like on them. Oh, not great, evidently. In fact, oh, come on! Did I get it? No. That would be too easy. We're Malavogan this here, guys. And by we, I mean me. Back in with a different screwdriver now. I tell you, I get more and more tempted just to snip this with a wire cutter. In fact, I mean, it's already ruined. There's the other bit of it. Yeah, right. Okay, now. Carefuling. Carefuling. There's the other bit of the pin. So now this washer here, if you can see this washer should just, oh yeah, put this somewhere safe. Right, now these pieces should separate. Okay. This I believe is the synchronization cable. It's just held on with kind of grub screws. So I just loosened this one, and this rod just slides out. It just slides out, he says confidently. Yes! Yes! So there's carbs 3 and 4. Oh my god, oh god, oh god! Brilliant. I know there's bits of these carbs in this bike forever. The piece that just went into the abyss was this one's sync lever. Right, so the new tripod mount's already proved its worth. These just fell off because I was reaching over to grab this, which fell over. These fell off, hit the tripod, shook the whole thing, camera didn't, phone didn't even move. So, I'm very confident in this mount. Famous last words. So, oh yeah, you can see that screw already, that spring. These want to separate now that these grubs are being undone. Careful. Boom. Boom. Oh, don't lose that. Okay, so I'm just going to take this T out from here. Nice. So this is the piece that was puking fuel. I probably changed those O-rings. But yeah, all this little plastic piece here would have been the death of the bike if I couldn't get this. So, and now I've got 2. I'm quite giddy. Anyway, I'm going to get this back together, hopefully. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Where the that site I was looking at, that Bike Breakers place, they have a good few pieces for this bike. They don't unfortunately have an exhaust. That was just too much to wish for. Oh jeez. They do have a nice dash. They have one of these left handlebar switches that I could use. I must actually look for a clutch lever, rather than just buying some cheap generic piece of. It'd be nice to get a genuine Honda, because they shared this clutch lever with a lot of yokes. What else I have? few electrical bits, fuse box, rectifiers, things like this. Now I need to move this menagerie. How the hell do I move this menagerie? You see the issue? That should do. There we go. Now, after looking at 1 and 2, these should just kind of want to come apart. Oh, yeah, they're kind of auto dismantling. Here's the piece we're harvesting, the piece we need. And looking at the carbs, oh man, they thought of everything. It's got this, it's keyed. And that key locates it in these notches in 3, or in 4, oh, they're actually in all of them. But obviously there's no T-piece link in 2 and 3. There's one in here, so there's one with the key that goes in here and holds it in place. Nice! God, they just think of everything. So yeah, now 2 of these puppies. I have a bit of time this evening. I'm not going to do this carb job yet. I'm just going to try and give this general area a clean and see if I can't find those 2 bits off the other carbs that I let fall into the engine. So we'll just give it a bit of a blow. So all the spiders pissed them off, you know. I'm so glad my compressor is nice and quiet. Whisper quiet, you wouldn't even hear it. They actually did move a bit of stuff. Yeah. I'm going to use some of this very old, very cheap bicycle cleaner. So if it's soft enough for a little crummy bike, it should be alright for an actual bike, you know. And it kind of smells nice as well. The more I'm looking at the oh man, this is, it just doesn't end, does it? Sorry, as I was about to say before my spray diffuser decided to become a rocket launcher, the more I'm looking at the head of this engine, the more I think I want to have a look at the valves, or should I say the valve spacing from the rockers. This is just a very cheap, again, you're getting a theme here. I'm not going to call this a budget bike or a budget bike build, but I ain't exactly rolling in it, so if we can do things on a budget, by we I mean me, I will. Seems to be loosening up the dirt, but then I'm pretty sure just water would have loosened up this crap. Like the brush is definitely getting dirtier. Anyway, the more I'm staring at this block, the more I really want to check the valves, because it's just an important piece of maintenance that needs to be done, and I'm not sure when it's ever been done before on the bike. Also, let me tell you, the shed is reaching a critical mass in terms of just general filth, so I really need to look at getting the new shed, just for my own sanity. This hose is just starting to get in the way of cleaning the top of the engine, so I'm going to quickly undo this Jubilee clip here and hopefully not flood the place with coolant. Now, I don't think there is any coolant in it. Again, this isn't the maybe it is the factory fitting, but generally Honda tends to use these kind of push ones rather than the straight Jubilees. So here's coolant in my eye. Oh, it's well sealed. Now I'm going to try my best to stay out of the frame so you can actually see what I'm trying to do. Basically, is it my arm? Of course it is. I'm going to try to stay out of the frame. Immediately blocks the frame. Yeah, holy shit, there is. I can hear it gurgling. Well, can you see that? Gatorade. So, can you see it in there? See it coming up? Ooh, I know the shot is terrible, but there is coolant in the system to some point anyway. So my biggest fear was that the whole thing was dry and had turned to powdered milk in the engine. So that hasn't happened. So I will have to drain it and oh Lord. This is what's happened above the level, obviously, where it's evaporated and just congealed into margarine cholesterol. So yeah, all this up stuff's going to have to be cleaned. I'm planning on flushing the engine, draining it all, filling it full of distilled water, taking out the thermostat, and then just running the bike so it's constantly circulating. Run it for a few minutes, dump all that out, fill it with water again, run it, dump it, and do that a few times to try and get all of this gunk out before I fill it with coolant, proper coolant. And depending on what I find being advised, I may do an buy an engine flush to put in. Nice and stealthy compressor. So yeah, it's turning out all right. This central part has a little bit of schmoo and gunk, but looking at it, I'd say it's just drippings from the coolant. It should be quite sheltered in there where it is. But saying that, it is through the paint. Is that through the paint? Yeah. We are through the paint in some areas, which isn't to be unexpected for a bike this age. So all in all, I'm a happy man. Let the cleaning continue. And don't worry, I'm not going to spray the cleaning fluid into the carbs. He says that he pours it all into the carbs. Can you see that speck? That black speck there? I'm just after fishing it out of my eye. So, as I was cleaning, I took out the HT leads to look down. Well, A, to make it easier to clean, and B, just to look down the bores. Well, not the bores, the fucking spark plug holes. And cylinder 3 was quite gunky and rusty and just generally manky compared to the other 3. So, Genius here decided to get Mr. Blowy here and blow 1, 2, no bother, stuck it in 3, pulled the trigger, and just shrapnel just flew out of it and caught me right. And I wouldn't mind. I wasn't even looking at it. I was better not look at this. This could get messy, and it still managed to get me. So, not looking at number 4. I'm not really looking at number 3 now. Eyes closed this time. That seems to have improved the situation a little bit anyway. So after all that, you probably can't see a lot of difference, but it looks a bit cleaner. So just doing this bit of the frame and the sprocket cover here just because it's extra grubby. I've been looking into the exhausts in some free time, which I don't have much of. And although I have seen at least one of these bikes with an aftermarket Yoshimura system for sale in Ireland, you cannot buy that system anymore, obviously. They don't make it anymore. So I was holding out hope that somebody would do a set for the 1000. And it seems that they used to, I think, some English crowd, Deck or something, used to do them, but I was in contact with them and they don't do it for the 1000 anymore. So I'm still him and hawing about what to do. I've seen at least one person on the 1000 get away with putting Blackbird sets on it, but I'm not sure how much of a job it is to get that to work. And I've seen, that's about it. I've seen a few second-hand systems, but they need welding and I'm not getting into that. And I've seen not a lot else really. Plenty of people do the end cans, but I need the 412 to put the end cans on, which is the problem. I tell you, that's this paint. The bits that stayed is in great nick. So here's a swinging arm and some subframe. We'll see how this is aluminium. We'll see how clean I can get this with little effort. Well, here we are about 10 minutes later with just I actually switched over to some prehistoric muck off bike cleaner. Like, this stuff is old, but it's working. That, my extremely dirty wheel cleaner or wheel brush, and an old t-shirt, and this is how it came up. I'd say the eagle-eyed among you will see that there is some grime behind this plastic piece, which isn't a tensioner. I think it's a sacrificial piece to stop the chain from mangling the swing arm. Also, while I was cleaning it, I accidentally cleaned 2 links, and it's actually a DID chain. So that is not a cheap chain. So I might check the book and see when what the limits are for chains, because that wouldn't have been cheap. But anyway, I'd say with a bit of polish, like you can see there, it's not bad. I'd say that would come up gleaming, that swing arm. I know it's unnecessary, but might as well spoiler. Cut back here. Like, it's coming up decent. It's not. It's mostly just surface grime and dirt. Now, it is disgusting in there at the sprocket. Like, there's all sorts of funk and hair and chunkage, and that's going to be another day. That'll be a whole horror film all on its own, the removal of this. It drops off. They've even embossed this piece, unless that's part of like unless that has a function. Like those pieces, you never would have seen that, but they stuck these two. I'll take it off now. There'll be stuff in there. Watch. I'm just rooting away now at the little side case in here. and just subframe, well, mainframe, and anything can get to this side, because the other side I just can't reach. Thinking of hitting that with some color restorer. I incorrectly referred to this, I believe, in one of my first videos as the starter. I have since come to realize this is in fact the alternator, and the starter is living over, you can't see, over no, it's way over there. So this is the alternator. There's also, oh look, there was a sycamore seed in there. It's organic. There still is 2 parts of the other carb in here somewhere. What the hell is that? Seeds, bits of trees and everything. Jesus Christ. Hopefully that hasn't taken root. Last thing I need is roots. Roots. Anyway. The cleanage continues. Hi guys. I stopped cleaning right after that last clip. If you have been, thanks for watching. I can't tell you when the next video is going to be out. I am trying to make them more interesting with more stuff happening in them. I am also slowly getting more confident with the editing software, so the videos should be getting more polished looking. Until next time, mind yourselves.